A nonprofit organization provides grants and technical assistance to individuals and organizations that protect and conserve the forests. Now, joining us via Zoom is the Forest Foundation of the Philippines Deputy Executive Director, Attorney Aya De Leon. Magandang umaga, Attorney. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, good morning, Paolo, and to the viewers. Nice to be here.
Attorney, let's talk first about the urgency of the situation and the amount of forest cover left in the Philippines. Why is it important to conserve them now in particular, and just what is the status with regard to the forest cover?
Yes, that's a very important question. So, as of 2022 Philippine forestry statistics, it is estimated that out of the 30 million hectares of the Philippines land area, only 7.22 million hectares of total forest cover is left. So, that's only around 24% of the whole country has any remaining forest cover. So, that's quite small. Considering back in the 1930s, let's say we had 17.8 million hectares of forest cover, now down to around 7.22. And of course, I think most of us understand the value of forest, that the value that forest provides in terms of yung oxygen, yung water supply, keeping mountains stable para ma-avoid natin yung flooding and landslides, pagkain, gamot, kabuhayan, a home and habitat for many, many species and animals, flora and fauna. So I could go on and on about the value and importance of forests. And as it stands, merong trend of decline of our forest cover.
You mentioned the trend of decline, and of course, if I don't know if we actually had the numbers for it based on the last number you gave. I believe it was around 2022. But then, what has the
Yes.
foundation done to help arrest the decline? And of course, the question is there hope that not only do we arrest the decline, but actually recover some of that space, that forest cover?
Yes. So the Forest Foundation is, like you mentioned, a forest conservation organization. We have been around for almost about 20 years. And we provide grants and technical assistance. And since we started giving these assistance, we have already funded around 300 plus projects, more than 1,000, almost 1,600 areas of restored forest lands, hectares of restored forest lands, improving forest lands also aside from restoration. But not only that, we work very closely with communities. So it's not only about the trees that are standing, but how are we supporting the communities and the people who depend on the forests that are also the protectors of the forest. So the people who live in or close to the forest are also their protectors. We have also supported more than 200 community-based organizations through our grants and technical assistance. And we've supported community-based livelihoods also. So dun sa question na is there hope? Yes, there is hope. Otherwise, we wouldn't be, putting in all these resources and all these energy, working with our partners at the community and also in government to ensure that we are taking stock of what remains and really understanding the needs so that we can arrest that decline and continue improving, especially working with communities who really rely on these forest resources.
It really feels like there are a lot of projects that are happening, a lot of groups that are being supported by this with terms of the grant and the funding. Are there any priorities, though, priority projects that your group is particularly excited about?
We actually work in terms of one approach that we have is in terms of landscapes. We have a sustainable landscape approach. So it's not so much a priority project, but looking at where where we can be most effective in terms of our resources. So nasaan pa ba yung pinaka-sensitive areas natin in terms of forests, yung mga pristine forests natin na kailangan protektahan bago mawala, bago ma-degrade. So our focal landscapes in terms of forest protection include Sierra Madre. I think madalas natin naririnig sa
Yeah.
balita yung Sierra Madre sa Baguio, di ba? The value of that mountain range. So that's one of our focal areas. We also work in Palawan, one of the remaining frontiers for environment and biodiversity in the Philippines. In Samar and Leyte, which is very much affected by our typhoons and other natural disasters. And in Mindanao, there's a lot of still standing, valuable ecosystems there that we want to protect. But aside from these focal landscapes, madami po kaming grant programs, no, depende sa focus. So it doesn't need to be limited to these areas. We also work in small island ecosystems. We know na sensitive yan to climate change.
Yeah.
Pag may bagyo, may sea level rise, and also mangrove areas. So if you will check out our website, there's a lot more detail there on the types of grants we provide, from small, medium to large, so ranging from as small as 500,000 pesos all the way to 24 million pesos for our large grants, depending on the type of project and where the project will be conducted.
Well, I'm sure there are some ears that did perk up once you mentioned the amounts being given out for the grants and the funding. But the question is, who can avail of these grants? And of course, what is the process like and who approves these grants?
Yes, that's a very good question. And we, first of all, we welcome different types of applicants or proponents to apply for our grants, although we can only download these resources to non-government organizations. They can be registered, so yung mga formally registered NGOs, they can be community-based organizations recognized by the local government units. So, depende po kung anong kind of organization and the kind of project, but they have to be non-government. So we are not able to provide grants to government, but we work very closely with them. They are our partner in many, many initiatives. We encourage yung collaboration na yun at the national and local level, but the resources will go to non-government entities. Pwede din yung universities, co-ops, ganyan. And the process, it's quite straightforward. In our website, there is a section where you can look for, apply for a grant. Nandun po yun, and then nandun yung instructions. You put in the information that we need in terms of how much resources, saan gagawin, ano yung project, sino yung involved, etc. It goes through a technical evaluation process with our technical staff. So may foresters po kami, envi planners, people working on coastal and marine issues, biologists, etc. After we evaluate at the technical level, it goes up to our board of trustees who makes the final decision on our grants.
Well, of course, I'm sure that there are a lot of variation with regard to mga proposals that you sift through. Is there any bias or preference, rather, to nature-based solutions to perhaps against mga man-made intervention with regard to fighting climate change and fighting for the forest covers?
Yes, maganda pong nabanggit niyo, Sir Paulo, yung nature-based solutions. We have a new program, one of the newest programs of the Forest Foundation, supported by the Government of Canada, is yung nature-based solutions for climate change adaptation. So I wouldn't say it's a bias, but it is one of our newest programs. So we are working very hard to get it off the ground. We are about to start giving grants under this new program. And hindi naman siya not man-made. No? When we say nature-based solutions, it's essentially man, or not man and woman, men and women, working together with nature to strengthen. Parang, ano ba, we want to work with what nature already does. So for example, we already know the services that the forest provides. Instead of inventing new ways to do forest conservation, let's look at how the forest functions, how the trees capture yung water to prevent flooding. How do we strengthen that? Is it through planting more trees? Is it adding siguro mga simple technology? So they are not man-made, but we are strengthening nature, working with nature to increase the benefits that we get, and of course, increase the protection. And yung maganda po sa nature-based solutions, they are cost-effective solutions rather than building, more infrastructure that costs millions or billions of pesos. We look at nature and we try to support the services that nature already gives.
Attorney, how can people reach out to you guys? You mentioned the website. Are there any other ways that they can reach out to the Forest Foundation of the Philippines?
Yes po. So the website is I guess that's where most of the information is. If you really want to learn about our work, our website is forestfoundation.ph. You can also email us info@forestfoundation.ph if you want more info, or grants@forestfoundation.ph if you have questions about our grants. And we are also on social media. So we are on Instagram and Facebook Our social media is very, very active. We post a lot of information there on our work, on how you can work with us, on our partnerships, our initiatives. So it's very rich with information. So I hope you can follow us on our social media so that you can learn of our work also, and maybe we can work together.
She is the Deputy Executive Director of the Forest Foundation of the Philippines, Attorney Aya De Leon. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much for sharing all of your insights, and we hope to talk to you again really soon.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, everyone.